the idea is just that you can interrupt me whenever you want if you have any question or any comment to make. The idea is to make it very practical. So and also to exchange potential opportunities of collaboration if they arise during the presentation. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. I think you can see it now. Yeah. I'm going to put it large too. Okay. Okay. So we can start. And well, thank you very much for connecting and for being here today. I'm very happy to share with you the progress on this project that we started like close to 2 years ago when we started looking for funds to finance this research project. But we didn't succeed on this, so we started on a smaller scale, and we hope that with our pilot experiences, you engage and you start in somehow adopting it, and then, as I will suggest later, just try if you are happy with the idea to collaborate in a research project that we can make together. Okay, so first of all, we're going to introduce, for those that are not so familiar with the Sustainable Business Plan, the Positive Impact Plan, we're going to introduce the basic idea of this tool. Then we will explain 2 dimensions of the same project because, as we will share with you, it has one educational dimension that is a direct implementation, especially on final thesis. But I will share with you that there are other experiences. And then the real experience that we have done here at the Open University of Catalonia. And then the other dimension, that is the research project. And one new milestone that we are starting now, that is the application, the deployment in an entrepreneurial ecosystem. So if there are no questions, no comments, we start. Okay. As some of you are very familiar with this idea of the traditional business plan and the traditional business model definition, that at the end of the day thinks on a value proposition, a solution for a need in the market that brings some profits to the shareholders. That's the traditional way of understanding business. But it has changed, and nowadays it is not like this anymore. In a practical way, it's not like this, and in some cases, they take into account more stakeholders. Okay, so we can say that the new paradigm on 21st century is that the value proposition has to be thought for each one of the different stakeholders around the organization, especially for those that are more important. For example, if we are talking about services activities, probably there is no production, there is no manufacturing activities, so there are some stakeholders that are not so relevant as if we are talking about a manufacturing company where they are producing, they are probably polluting the environment, etc., etc. So the idea is, if we think on this famous sentence from Steve Blank that defines the business model as the way an organization generates, provides, or delivers, and captures value. Okay, this sentence is very, I think it's very well summarized about the business model, the way an organization generates, delivers, and captures value. Okay, so if we translate it into this new paradigm as we are talking now, where we take into account all the stakeholders, we have to think on the same line about the way the organization generates value for each one of those stakeholders, delivers value to each one of those stakeholders, and captures value from every one of those stakeholders. Okay? So with this in mind, what we developed with the help of different parts of the world when we started this idea, it's a new blueprint that allows an entrepreneur to structure the idea of a new venture, starting with the premise of sustainability. So that means that, as we discussed before, instead of providing value to customers and achieving some profits for shareholders, the idea is to exchange value with all the stakeholders and being sustainable economically, socially, and environmentally. That's the logo we used for this project, where we have the idea, the rocket, that means the startup, the venture, the new venture, with instead of polluting, generating green impact, and of course generating social impact. Okay. So the milestone, the more relevant milestone we achieved last year is just we published in an open science repository a first version of this blueprint that you can download, and I'm going to share with you now, just to take a look on the different aspects. So let me stop this presentation and let me, well, you can access this repository. It's an open science repository, and you can download here the blueprint, and you can take a look. I'm thinking here it is. Yes, I have downloaded it. So you have it in English, Spanish, Catalan, and we are thinking on introducing the German version and other versions. So they will be available soon. And of course, if we gain new partners that we want to adopt it in their countries, in other languages, please facilitate it to us, and we can upload it to be shared in the same repository. So let's take a look on the structure of this sustainable business plan, and let me explain why we use both names, the positive impact plan and the sustainable business plan. What we have really realized is that when we introduced the positive impact plan in some programs in our university, there were a lot of students that are very, let's say, very well trained in the neoliberal point of view, and they couldn't understand the concept of impact. When we talk about impact in sustainability, and positive impact, we are talking about going farther than the rules, the laws regarding, for example, protecting environment or respecting labor laws, etc., etc. So when we talk about the positive impact plan, we are thinking in a plan that allows the entrepreneur to create and structure a business idea that goes farther than the requested rules, the requested values and impact that the law establishes. On the other hand, when we talk about the business plan, everyone is absolutely familiar, starting with the students, but also with entrepreneurs. So that's why we combine both names, and we call it the sustainable business plan also. Okay. Okay. May this clarification, let's take a look on the different parts of the sustainable business plan. As you can see, at first look, it is not completely different of a traditional business plan. But when you enter and once you go deeper in each section, you will find out that there are several changes. So, for example, of course, there is a first part talking about the purpose of an organization. And this is very important because for first time, we introduce the idea of the stakeholders that will be determinant for the rest of the sections of the business plan, okay? Of course, there is a strategic analysis or a strategic part of the business plan. And as we discussed it before, we try to discuss about the value exchange with all stakeholders. And for example, instead of talking about competitive advantages, we talk about unique success factors. Why? Because of course, competition it's fine in some aspects, but there are several aspects of competitions that are not so good, especially if we are thinking in the positive impact. Okay. After the strategy, we try to modelize the business plan, the business model, and for that, instead of using the traditional approach of the business model canvas from Alexander Osterwalder, we introduced the common good impact canvas that was invented by other authors, because it starts with the stakeholders groups and the idea of exchanging value with every one of them. If you think on the Alexander Osterwalder's model, as he introduces it, it has one part that is the front end and the other part is the back end. It's like a theater, we can think. And the front end is oriented completely to one stakeholder, that is the customer or customer segments. And the back end is completely thought for how to prepare the value proposition. Okay, so we think it is not valid anymore, despite there are a lot of proposals that add levels of sustainability on the traditional business model canvas. We think sustainability is not an option, it's not an add-on over the business model. We think it has to be on the premises of the business model. Then we have, as the traditional business plan, we have a marketing plan, but we combine it with a social communication plan. Okay, we work same things as the traditional business plan, but we introduce some specific new sections. Then it comes operations, but it is sustainable operations. And here you can see there are, I mean, probably every business plan has the process map, activities, and so on. But we introduce here the circularity plan. This is something new that it is necessary in order to then make indicators related to sustainability. Of course, the environmental protection plan and the whole sustainable supply chain. Okay? Very aligned with rules like CSRD and others, GRI and others. Then it comes section for people and governance plan. And again, new things appear here. For example, we are talking about more co-participation of employees or other stakeholders in the governance, and of course transparency. Okay. Then we go to something that it's new, and it's very linked to the economic and financial plan. In a traditional business plan, we refer to the economic statements and for example, profit and losses or the balance sheet or other ones. Now, and it is not, I mean, it is not something very new, but for some entrepreneurs and for students, it can be very new. And it's that we add the impact statements, the impact plan to the economic statements. So this is something new. We realize it with the experience we have done with our students that they are not very aware on how to approach to this impact statements. So we are developing some materials to help them to understand what are we referring to and how to develop this section. So this is something very new, and we hope that it will be the heart of this this sustainable business plan, not only for entrepreneurs, but also for potential investors and also for potential financial partners, okay, for funding one venture. Then we have, as traditional plans, risk and contingency plans, and then the conclusions, okay? So for each section, if you download it, there are some guidelines on what are talking about. I mean, more or less the explanations I was trying to make here. So do you have any question, any comment by now? No?
No, thank you.
Yeah, I do. Do you have core competencies in some place?
Yes, because when we talk about stakeholders, among stakeholders are, of course, we talk about companies that are in the same sector. So are you talking about competency or competencies from people?
No. Yeah, no, into core competencies, you know, the
Okay.
difficult to imitate, the rare.
Yeah.
So how the company achieves sustainable position, core competencies.
Well, yes, they are, okay, but we prefer to talk, I mean, of course, they have to be developed further in other sections, but we, as I was trying to explain before, we prefer to talk about unique value proposition, unique success factors, etc., etc.
Yeah. Okay. Clear. Yep.
Yeah. Monica, please.
Yeah. Following up on this, the entrepreneurial team is also one part that is detailed. Exactly.
And it is very important.
Maybe this is more about competences, people, and governance plan. So the detailed competences and responsible persons for each. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, so you can download whenever you want the sustainable business plan. Here you have the URL. I will share with you this presentation. Sorry, I'm going to put it larger. So you can download it, and I think if you look for it, it's a sustainable business plan that you have to put by now. It's not so famous. Open University of Catalonia, you will find it. Okay, and the idea, as I was, sorry, someone wants to say something? No. Okay, the idea is that we want to try this and to adapt or allow anyone from different parts of the, let's say, the economic fabric that are in somehow affected by new ventures to have the opportunity to use this business plan, this sustainable business plan. So by now, we have started with the science and education dimension, and we are starting now with the one entrepreneurial ecosystem where entrepreneurs are going to start using this sustainable business plan. But by now, our real current experience is based on final thesis that students from BBA, from the Bachelor in Business Administration, have done in the first semester of this course, and now we are in the second semester and we have more students that are using it. The idea is just to extend to all the students in the degree of business administration to adopt it. And we are also launching a new MBA that starts in, well, I'm talking about the university I work for. The MBA starts in October, and they will have this sustainable business plan as the template for their students. Okay.
Juan Carlos, one question: is that the MBA that you launched together with EADA?
No, it's a new one that is being launched by the Open University of Catalonia, because the older ones are transformed in this one.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, because David Roman, he was going to participate in the call. He sends his excuse because he couldn't make it, because I told him about this call, this webinar, because our alliance in that respect, and it seems a good place to introduce.
Absolutely. I introduced this to I will say it, the program director here at the Open University, Eva Rimbau.
Yeah.
And yes, and of course David Roman is very happy to at least consider implementing it in the MBA we have with you, with EADA. So I'm at your disposal whenever you want. Of course, I mean, this is not proprietary. This is open science, so it's available for any university in the world, any institution that wants to apply it. Okay, so I will be more than happy if you want me to help you on how to do it. And now I'm going to explain how we did it and how we recommend to adopt it. I was invited in the last part of the year 2025. I was invited to the Polytechnic University of Valencia to give a seminar there to their teachers that are willing to implement the sustainable business plan in their programs. At that case, I think it was a master's, and it was great on business administration. So they invited me to go and explain how we did it here. So I will be more than happy to go as we collaborate. We have a program together, so absolutely. And of course, Adelina, if you want me to help you there in Romania, or Werner in Germany, or whatever, I'm more than happy. Okay? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
So, well, this is a concept map. I'm not going to share to spend a lot of time here, but just to tell that this project has a communication strategy, and we have an internet website. You can take a look on this. We are participating in different conferences where we are presenting and communicating about this new the positive impact plan. You have the template, and now we are launching this project. We have a network. Some of you are part of the initial consortium, and now we are extending the network. We have, at the educational dimension, we had some experiences, and for example, we are working also with another university that approached us interested in this. And as I told you before, we are starting now the entrepreneurial dimension with the UBIC ecosystem here in Barcelona, but we had an interested approach from Australia, from an ecosystem there. So who knows if they will start adopting it. That's our idea, and that's why we are here now. So here you have the link to the website. So you are mostly welcome if you want to take a look. If you enter, I'm going to stop the presentation, but if you enter the website, there is general information. There is an invitation to join us. Then you have the direct link to the blueprint where you can download it. And well, we have the call for partners continuously open. And of course, we have the different activities that we can perform at any time. So you are mostly welcome if you want to participate and invite others to join. Okay, that's the website. And now I'm going to go deep into the educational part, and then we will discuss about the research project. Okay, so what we have done and how we have done it at the Open University of Catalonia. What we did is just, first of all, make a current analysis of the situation, because not all students are familiar with sustainability, with triple bottom sustainability, etc., etc. So we had to make a first look of the materials and the previous education the students had. Starting from that point, we adapted some contents in order to facilitate, especially if it is a little bit difference between grades and masters, because they normally on masters are more professional participants than on BBAs that normally are more junior participants. Then with that, we created that map and look for materials. Documents and guidelines in order to facilitate the development of the final thesis. Then we made a short train to teachers and tutors, supervisors, on the new approach and how the sustainable business plan works. For that, we did one session. I mean, it's not so difficult for them, especially because we have very, very good. Don't worry, Albert. See you. If you have very professional supervisors, they are used to supervise projects and use different templates, so they can adapt easily. Then we introduce the blueprint and create the assessment rubric for the students. And that's all. Once we deploy it and once we get the first results, the first final thesis, we also discuss with the students about their experience, because they are not aware that it's a pilot. I mean, they think it's a regular business plan, and we'll get some learnings and experiences that are positive in order to improve the template. In fact, we are working now on a second version. We realized, for example, that the technological part is not updated, but it is something that goes very fast, especially with the introduction of the artificial intelligence. So when we talk about sustainability and technology, maybe we should consider developing further one section in the technological part, but it will come on version 2. And for that, we need your help also in order to collect your experiences. And as I told you, once we did this, we are deploying this pilot in the whole course, 2 semesters during this course. In September 2026, this year, we will extend it, the sustainable business plan, to all students that choose the business plan for their final thesis, and also the same on the masters. So hopefully it will work properly. In terms of timing, I can tell you that it is not so much. I mean, if you start now working on it in 6 months, you can prepare. Especially, I'm talking about official degrees or masters. If you are involved in a non-official program, maybe you can even go faster. But I recommend this timing for the stages I was mentioning before. And we used that kind of agile approach because we wanted to get feedback at any moment from the participants, whatever they were, teachers, students, or experts that were helping us during the process. Okay? Any question, any comment on this? No? So, we made a couple of sessions, both with teachers and with students. One session with teachers was like a focus group or expert group in order to get their feedback from the sustainable business plan. And then we did also 2 surveys, one for the teachers and another one for the students. And we got some feedback, and we are going to try to develop some analysis from it. And once we finish this second semester, and probably we will be able to try to publish something. So I'm saying that because, as you know, we have two hats, the teacher hat and the researcher hat. So I'm very happy if you want to collaborate on those research projects too. But before jumping to the research part or the dimension of the positive impact plan, let me explain that I have other colleagues, like, for example, Ricard Speld, that uses the sustainable business plan to make work with in one subject that it's called cooperativism, where he asks his students to assess how the sustainable business plan fits to a non-profit organization, especially if it is a cooperative or similar institution. Okay, so they are not developing or structuring an idea of a venture, of a business. They are only using it as a way to assess how it can help cooperatives to structure and for example, look for fundings or validate their business model, etc., etc. So it is an interesting approach that will provide us with good insights in order to improve the sustainable business plan. The other subject that I'm responsible of, it's in the news. This new MBA, we have a projectual subject where students have to learn how to use the sustainable business plan in order to be prepared for the final thesis. So the idea is that they have to solve one challenge introduced by a real company, a real challenge from a company, and for solving it and for structuring the solution they provide to the company, they are using the sustainable business plan. So the company gets a proposal in the form of a business plan for the solution. The difference between the final thesis is that normally each student develops their own sustainable business plan for their own idea. In this case, all students develop the same sustainable business plan, providing different solutions to one challenge. Okay? I don't know if I have explained it fine or not. Okay. No questions or comments? Okay, so the pilot experience on the first semester was we had 18 students that started it and 4 teachers, supervisors, and well, as I told you, we did those sessions, and now we are working process with the second semester. Okay, they are few ones. This is a pilot experience, so we have 18, about 20 on the second semester, but September 2026 will be like 140 students that will embrace this new standard, okay, this new guideline. Okay, any question, any comment on the educational dimension? No? Okay, if you have any question, you can also ask me whatever you want about the experience that we did here at the Open University of Catalonia. And I will be more than happy to share with you. And now, talking about the possibility of collaborating with different universities that are willing to, in somehow adopt, well, I'm talking universities, but also any other educational institutions that are willing to adopt the sustainable business plan in their programs for final thesis. So what we want is just to develop a common survey altogether here, where we can assess different variables of sustainability and different variables of the kind of organization, venture project, entrepreneurial team, etc., etc. So we can in somehow develop a data set that we can share together, the different universities that participate, and then each institution develop publications depending on the interest they have. For example, I don't know, maybe one university is very interested in identifying if there are some kind of correlation between gender, entrepreneurial activity and sustainability, or if we have other, I don't know, interests, like, for example, the dimension of the startup, or the fund they get, or the region they are. I mean, depending on the interest of each of the universities, we can include different variables, but the idea will be to share a common survey that can be very valuable for all of us. Okay. We have a project plan for this. So this today, it is the let's say the launching of this call, and we will collect. We have, as I told you, 12 interested partners that registered for this event. I will contact them. Of course, if you know more, we are more than happy then to incorporate them, integrate them, and we will start. The first thing we have to do is to agree to agree on the design of this survey, and for that we have to think also on the gaps, the scientific gaps, the interests that each university wants to study, okay, to research. Okay, and now we are approaching the last part of this presentation, where, as I told you, we are extending this the adoption of this sustainable business plan to two other dimensions. One real dimension, and that I think is the key one, it's entrepreneurs. So we need to test how entrepreneurs find easy, not easy, useful, not useful, even impactful or not impactful, the sustainable business plan. For that, as I told you, and we are looking also for entrepreneurial ecosystems. So if you have access to them, please use the sustainable business plan, approach them, and ask them if they are willing to use it. When I'm talking about the entrepreneurial ecosystem, I'm not only talking about entrepreneurs, but also to investors. So in this case here, thanks to the collaboration we have with one entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Barcelona, we're going to create a focus group or a group of experts, of investors, in order to check with them the sustainable business plan and get feedback from their perspective, because we are sure they will appreciate, they will value a lot the sustainability approach that we are providing with it. And of course, for entrepreneurs, we are offering to these ecosystems, the incubators and so on, we will offer some training for them to understand how to apply it. We are even helping to start developing the materials they have for the entrepreneurs in order to facilitate how to use the sustainable business plan. And that's all. I'm sorry that I was the only one talking, but well, more or less this is what I wanted to explain to you. Thank you very much. We have now time, 5-10 minutes, if you want to make any question, any comment. We are few people, so
I can start. Thank you, Jose Carlos. I think this is a very good initiative, and I'll try to pursue the other within the different programs that we start adopting this blueprint. So far we have a traditional business plan, and we have some add-ons depending upon the program where we ask for impact or we ask for ESG. But I think it's good to work with a blueprint, right? That you publish in Open Sciences. So thank you for that. And yeah, that's for the time being our perspective. And then later, so that's especially educational. This was my first interest. I think we should adopt this kind of template for our generalist programs. For research, yeah, to be discussed. We are always open to join research collaborations, but obviously, since we are not using it yet, we don't have a sample of students and projects to analyze. But in the future, yeah, let's talk about it in the future.
So thank you very much, Desiree, and you know that I'm at your disposal whenever you want. I can go visit you, and we can have meetings. In fact, yes, as you said before, David Roman excused himself for not participating, but he is really interested in adopting it. So I think it's the smarter way to start. I mean, start with the educational dimension. Get experience on this, and then we can think on research outputs if possible. That's very smart. So thank you very much, Desiree. I don't know if other participants want to say anything, or any case, you know the website. You can contact me whenever you want. And I will be more than happy, of course, to attend you at any moment if we can help you on the implementation or the materials or whatever. I have to say that we are developing now materials, and we are working with the Economy for the Common Good that has developed a lot of materials related to the Common Good Matrix. That it's a very good holistic approach to sustainability, and also, of course, the Common Good balance sheet that has indicators. At this moment, the version, I think, is the 5.2, if I'm not wrong. It's very aligned with the BSME from the European Union. So indicators are very well aligned with it. So that's what we aim in order to embrace standards and not reinvent the wheel. So we are on that direction. So thank you very much again for your participation on this webinar, and please keep in touch, and good luck with your adoption of the Sustainable Business Plan.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. Ciao.